The Quebec Charter is the National Council of Canadian Muslims, and their executive director, Ihsaan Gardee, joins us now. So, Ihsaan, the Quebec government there saying this is about separation of church and state, keeping religion out of the government and out of its employees, religious neutrality. What's wrong with that in your mind?
Well, thanks for having me on, Todd and Amanda. Well, we've heard a lot about this proposed charter, and our organization, as well as organizations from across a broad spectrum of faith groups, Sikh, Jewish as well, have come out strongly against this. And what we've heard from the government so far is a lot of lip service about what the purpose of this this proposed charter is, and one of them being that it's all about equality. It's very difficult to see how putting into place something that is essentially going to institutionalize discrimination against particular individuals is going to go about bringing about greater equality. It reminds one of the animal farm tale that we're all equal, but just some of us are more equal than others.
All right, so how will this specifically impact Canadian Muslims, and especially women?
Well, Canadian Muslim women who choose to wear the hijab will obviously be impacted by this, in that they may not be able to seek or maintain employment at particular public institutions. They'll be forced essentially to make a choice between their deeply held religious convictions and employment. And this has an impact both at an individual level on the person's life and livelihood, as well as their psychological and emotional well-being, but it also has a ripple effect that goes not only upwards to the greater economy of Quebec, perhaps dissuading people or discouraging people from coming to Quebec or encouraging people to move away from Quebec, but also on a broader scale, what it says about us as a society here in Canada as well. It's unfortunate. It's something that is deeply concerning, and at the same time, it's important that people not use this to this debate to try and I guess ratchet up the rhetoric and sort of label people. We need to try and debate these issues. They're important issues, but making it emotional, labeling people on one side or the other is not going to help the debate. I think it's important to look at the legislation, and we still haven't seen the final legislation, obviously, but if it comes forward in the same way it's been tabled here today, it's obviously something that is deeply problematic, something that many lawyers and constitutional experts said would not survive a constitutional challenge, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Ihsaan, the Quebec government, though, is saying this is not about freedom of religion. It's not about affecting anyone in Quebec society except for state employees, and that if you want to work for the Quebec government, if you want to, work at the automobile board, or you want to be a teacher or a daycare worker, there are certain rules you have to follow to keep religion out of that sphere. If that's what they want to do, and there seems to be a consensus in Quebec, what's wrong with that? I mean, if you make a choice to work at an institution, there will be rules, regardless of where you work, that have to be followed.
Right. Well, I mean, I can understand the idea, and I think a lot of people understand the idea of ensuring that state institutions remain neutral and secular. But that's very, very different, Todd, from being anti-religious, to basically saying that people have to sublimate a part of their identity in order to be eligible or to qualify to be able to work for the state. And I think it also sends a very harmful message as well to our children about diversity and inclusion here in Canada.
Ihsaan, thank you so much for your time and insight. Ihsaan Gardee with the National Council of Canadian Muslims.
You can be sure
Thanks for having me on.